Matt, thank you so much for taking some time with us today. As two queens who just watch Haute Dog, it is an honor to speak with you. Thank you very much. My first question is, you know this better than anybody. There's so much content out there. It is so overwhelming. When you have a show like this come out on streaming, it must be like, well, I hope people find it. And It seems like people have found this. What has the past week been like for you?
Well, thank you for watching it, first of all, because I know there is like a sea of content out there, and that kind of was a concern of mine. I was like, how is it gonna stand out? But I mean, I think the fact of the matter is it's dogs. And so dog people will find a way. So there's that. And also, I do think that HBO Max has been so exciting as a streaming platform. I mean, you've got The Vow on there and Class Action Park and all this stuff that's been kind of popping off. Lovecraft Country, obviously. I mean, so much good stuff on there. And to be involved with all that stuff, I think definitely carried us through. But the last week has been interesting because I mean, I think over the past couple of years, I'm never more conscious of the fact that I am in a social media bubble. Right. So I don't know if it's just people tagging me in it or being like, the couple hundred people that have mentioned me like on Twitter, like, are those just my people that I am interacting with on Twitter, or is it a larger thing? Yeah. But I will say over the past few days, like as the show's been out, it feels like it's word of mouth spreading. So that's cool. I mean, if it's going to be a moment, let's have it be a moment.
Totally. If I've learned one thing from Twitter, it is that everybody is on Twitter and it's like all true and like you should believe everything that you read.
Exactly.
But yeah, totally.
No, I heard a statistic recently that was like, that only 2% of Americans are even on Twitter. So I was like, that puts a lot into perspective in my sick brain.
I know.
Yeah, no. I think people are loving Haute Dog, and I think it also is like kind of the on the vanguard of like what reality TV is now, which is like not Love Island. You know what I mean? Like it's not like mean. Like we don't want to see people being mean to each other. There's enough of that in the world. No, it's like in the vein of great.
It's inherently positive, and the one thing I love, which someone that reached out to me on Twitter said this. They said you root for every contestant, which is so great. Like it's kind of like a Great British Bake Off in that way, where it's like these people love what they do. I mean, the groomers that we have are truly gifted, and any of them could win at any time. It truly comes down to minutia, which is very much Jess Rona being in charge of like, this rear angulation is not great. And she's so good at expressing that I'm like, you're right, it's not. I feel like I'm an expert despite knowing nothing. But yeah, I mean, it's so fun to watch, and it pops off the screen, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. I mean, what luck.
I'm curious what had the bigger budget during the first season? Was it all the dog wrangling or was it your suits?
Well, they both were given a lot of care and attention.
I can tell, Matt.
Crucial areas of the show, my suits and the dogs, both were given time. I worked with Wayman and Micah, were the stylists on this, who are like huge. I mean, I walked in for my fitting and there were these pair of shoes on the table, and I was like, whose shoes are those? And they were like, Tessa Thompson. And I was like, oh. And then I saw like the back of clothes, and there was a card that said J HUD, and I was like, I am sorry, I have to ask, when you say J HUD, we are talking about Jennifer Hudson? And they were like, yes. And I almost turned to sand. It was so fun.
Oh, so good. Your clothes are just like, I mean, just another aspect of the show. It's a lot.
I mean,
did you get to keep them at all?
No. So on my last show, Game Show, which I did for Quibi, like I created that show, and I'm an EP on that show. So I got to take everything, and my closet is full of like these like, pretty nice Zara suits. And now it's like they gave me like all this designer stuff, and I'm like, can I keep even this one shoe? And they're like, no, darling, you cannot. That is worth more than your life is currently worth.
It's funny when you get a little taste of just that glamorous life, just a little sprinkle of it. It is like so hard to go back to like just your closet. It's like kind of sad.
I mean, I'm walking around, I put this shirt on for you guys, and I'm like, ugh. It's not Versace, but it'll do.
Yeah, Dan and I were talking. We are both wearing undershirts almost exclusively right now. So Matt, when you walk past, yeah, that is the glamour that we have for you. I have a gold chain, which is like something.
Okay, very normal people of you.
Thank you. When you walk past dogs on the street now, Matt, do you look at them and judge them? Do you look at their rear angulation? Do you look at their janky ass? Like
when I'm checking out dog's rear angulation, it's like, okay, this is crossing over into a new territory. Well, honestly, like I had always been interested in dogs. I wouldn't have ever considered myself a dog person. And then I moved to LA and they're everywhere. So now I have more of an appreciation for them. And post the show, I am kind of thinking of getting one. And if I do get one, I kind of do think I want like a mini poodle that can be groomed, because I think it's so fun. And now I think I can go in there. I mean, you better know I'm going to stomp into Jess Rona grooming on Larchmont and Melrose and be like, I want this, and I want Jess to do it and no one else.
You're so LA now, Matt. You're getting a little mini dog. It's like, look what this city does to you so quickly.
I know.
Have you been to Jess's new spot yet?
So I've driven by it a couple times, and then I peek in, and she's always because it only just opened, and it being COVID times.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird, but I texted her the other day and I was like, when can I come by? And she's like, literally come by anytime now. I'm always there. So I'm going to be going by, and I suggest anyone with a dog go by. She's the best.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do get a poodle that is like groomed to hell and looks like a drag queen every single day, that's an amazing opportunity for like a co-host situation. Maybe she moves up to like EP and then you guys like start an empire, much like Shondaland. You know what I mean?
Of course. And by me hosting this dog grooming show, that is my first step to Shondaland. You know what I mean? Like, I can't explain how it's gonna work out, but this is a step towards.
And you shouldn't.
A Shondaland. Yes.
Totally.
I'm curious, Matt, would you like to use this as an opportunity to maybe start an Emmy campaign to finally be the one to take down RuPaul?
I mean, yeah, I feel like if anyone's gonna do it, it has to be me. No, honestly, like when I hosted the show, I was a little nervous the night before because I hadn't worked because of the pandemic, and you know, it's the first time I've ever like hosted like a major show by myself, and so I did watch a lot of Nailed It with Nicole Byer. Nicole's a friend of mine, and I texted her. I'm like, you're reminding me to just have fun. And the thing with RuPaul is like, he just goes out there and has so much fun and is so authentically himself. So I said, I'm going to take all pressure off this and just be myself. And the fact that you even make a joke about me being in an Emmy conversation with RuPaul is lighting my 15-year-old gay self on fire.
I know what an awards queen you are, just like the two of us. So listen, I mean, you got to start somewhere, Matt. This is it. I think this is the moment. This is the moment.
Wow, that would be huge. I'm expecting nothing. I'll tell you, I will literally cry from joy if I'm listed on like tier 3 dark horse, like, you know what I mean? Like, like be down there with like, I don't know, who's a dark horse nowadays for.
I don't know. I'm not going to. Yeah.
I don't know. Who hosts The Masked Singer?
Oh God!
I can hear your voice. What the fuck?
Yeah. Honestly, me and Carson Daly will be down in dark horses.
Okay.
And honestly,
get her, Jade.
I've always wanted to be on a list with Carson Daly.
Why not?
There's a lot of buzz. So Matt, I'm wondering, controversial question, representation question. How many of the dogs on your show were gay or bi-curious, do you think?
Every time I meet a dog, I think it's gay. I think every dog is gay. Like, that's just the way I feel. Dogs feel inherently queer to me. They're constantly sniffing butts.
Oh my God, likewise.
It's what we in the community prefer to do. And so I feel like they're all gay. And it was actually funny because like most of the groomers were gay, but then there were a couple straight guys in there, and I was like, okay, cool. So are you sure this is who you are and what you're doing? But yeah. Lovely straight men, and one of them even won.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I hesitate to ask this question, Matt, because I don't want to hijack the conversation between the two of us here too much, but I have to ask you, as somebody who's currently writing Real Housewives of Potomac recaps.
Oh.
Where are we? Are we Team Monique? Are we Team Candace? And how are you handling all of this?
It's so hard right now because I love all 7 of these women. And so it's tough because I've always been Team Monique. I think that Candace is such an antagonist. I think that she revels in getting under people's skin, and not for nothing, but getting in people's personal space. Yeah. So, and I mean, let's not forget that this is someone who's like, whether they're butter knives or what, they are knives and they're being waved constantly by Candace. Yeah. That being said, really tough to watch this last episode and not say that Monique needs some help with whatever issue she's dealing with, because she took it to a sad place, and it just didn't need to go that far. And I hope that going forward, it can be a teaching moment and not a damning moment. Because what I would really hate to see is for her to start earning the title of like bad role model, or like, you know, I just feel like she's a human being who's obviously got some issues. Let's focus on that and not make it bigger than it needs to be about representation. You know what I mean? I think that it's unfortunately gone to like a sad, dark place, and I don't know where they're at right now in terms of resolving that, but I hope it's resolved, because I really do like them both.
It's interesting because you saw right after the big fight, they both called their husbands, and their first thing that they said was like, shit, I like don't want to be a stereotype. I like can't believe I let this happen. You know? So
it's really it's unfair that they have to bear that burden. It's just another element of the racism that we have in this country. But the fact of the matter is, like, people are out here saying that. So it's like they're already saying Monique bad role model. I mean, already people get judged for being on the show. I mean, Wendy talks about that. She's got like a career as a political commentator, and
she'll be the first one to tell you.
Yeah, well, yes, she will. The professor has arrived, and she is speaking about how she's a professor. But you know, so it's so loaded, and I just hope it can be a productive, positive conversation. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't talk to you and not ask a Potomac question, so thank you.
Yeah, come on. I mean, I'm here. Like,
I know when the opportunity arises. Go ahead, Sam.
Well, that was it's a pretty heavy thing to transition out of, it sounds like, but
we can do it.
Not really. It's Housewives. Ultimately, it's Housewives.
Ultimately,
totally.
It's women throwing wine glasses and pulling hair. You know, it's fine.
Heard that.
Ultimately, it's hot dog at the end of the day.
Ultimately, most things are hot dog, and more people will be saying that moving forward.
So we do just have a quick game to play with you, Matt, just to finish up here. The rules are pretty complex. It's called Hot or Not, Dogs of History.
Okay.
So we're going to be asking you about famous dogs, and you just let us know if they're hot and if they're not, and then maybe at the end you'll win, and like maybe you won't. We don't know yet.
I hope I win, but if I don't, that's all right. I'm gonna keep it.
So the stakes are high for you, it seems. Dog number 1 is Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay, I'm gonna say not hot. I'm gonna say reeks of Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Okay, work. Fair.
And maybe reeking of Trump supporters as well. The ensemble cast of Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2.
I'm gonna say hot.
Okay.
They live in Beverly Hills. They've clearly had to work to maintain an image, and I don't want to poo-poo on their hard work, to use a dog.
That's a great point.
They are absolutely class traitors, but I respect your decision. I would also say the coastal elite Eddie Crane from Frasier.
I'm gonna say hot. I'm gonna say lives a refined lifestyle, and I appreciate that.
Speaking of dogs in Beverly Hills, the iconic Lisa Vanderpump's Jiggy.
Yeah, hot. I mean, if I were to say not hot, I mean, her entire fan base, her army of gays would come for me. So hot.
This one is a lob. This is a softball. Bruiser from Legally Blonde.
One of the hottest individuals in American history. Not dogs. Just really set a standard for how you show up on screen.
Mm-hmm. Alexander Hamilton is shaking for sure.
Oh, sure.
Sam wrote this one down, and I honestly don't appreciate the language here, Sam. He refers to him as Clifford the Big Red Bitch.
I don't know.
Big red bitch. Well, first of all, let's just say hot, because there were educational aspects, and there's nothing hotter than being learned.
Absolutely.
Amen.
We love an educational girl. Claire Foy's several corgis in seasons 1 through 4 of The Crown, now streaming on Netflix.
Hot. All hot. Corgi's never not going to be hot. God, it's so funny to refer to these animals as hot. Yeah, corgis are hot.
Airbud.
Airbud, hot athlete. Come on, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want
She's a dog.
An athlete? That's
Airbud.
a PGA level athlete.
Airbud's legitimately sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, rumored drug addict Scooby-Doo.
I'm gonna say not hot because of the codependency with Shaggy.
Oh,
I feel
absolutely.
like I don't need all that, and also it seems like a lot of drama with the sort of mysteries of it all. I want something easy and low stakes. So
something upstate, you know what I mean?
Not for me. I also feel like he's with Shaggy, and I'm not making any sort of assumptions on the nature of the relationship, but I wouldn't want to impede.
For sure. Okay, and then finally, Matt, Miss Snoopy herself.
Okay, Snoopy is hot. Snoopy is hot because she doesn't even have to say anything, okay? She can just kind of chill. She can let the kids play. You know, she deals with all different types of personality types in ways that are so interesting. She's unbothered that someone's a little bit of a stinker with Pigpen. Yeah. So, you know, for all you stinkers out there, you might have an ally in Ms. Snoopy. She lays atop that little house. You know, she doesn't. You know, it's so queer of her to sort of like lay on top of the house. You know what I mean? Not, and you know, I imagine that the interior of her little house is so chic.
Oh,
it's like absolutely like minimal Architectural Digest, and she queers that space.
100%. I mean, Snoopy is it. She's a classic.
Well, Matt, you held up really well. To all of our questioning, I'm so thrilled to announce that you have won the game Hot or Not Poland Dogs of History.
This is such an honor. What do I get?
I'm excited for you. You know,
it's in the mail.
It's in the mail. Yeah, it's in the mail.
And it's expensive.
Yeah. Guys, at least send me a couple bottles of wine or alcohol. As you can see, I'm only just beginning my bar card over here.
There you go.
Yeah, I just bought it and I have like 4 bottles and I'm looking at it in the back of this like I'm showing it off. I'm like, I look like I have nothing.
It looks great. It looks great. Listen. We will. We'll get in touch with the correct people. We'll send you a gift. I mean,
send me a damn bottle of wine. Okay.
I am telling you, we will. You deserve it for being the inaugural winner of Hot or Not. This is a big deal. You know.
This is huge.
Congratulations. Well, Mr. Matt Rogers, it's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure. Congratulations on the show. You know, I have to say, I was telling a couple of people yesterday, I was like, I'm talking to Matt Rogers. He's hosting the show. Before I could even finish, like, yeah, Hot Dog.
That's so nice. Honestly, I want to thank you guys so much for watching it and even having me on here. And also everyone that's watching it and talking about it, thanks so much. Because I really do think it's a force for good. I really do.
Absolutely. Well, and that's largely because of you. So congratulations.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Have a great rest of your day. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, guys, so much.